every good game either dies or gets very unpopular or just kind of gets destroyed by, an inactive player base that leads to greed, and it becomes pay to win, and it's a nightmare. That's basically how it's been for who knows how long with most of my favorite games. There's still a few that are afloat and that are kind of doing well. I figured I'd go through my most played games and the games I've enjoyed the most throughout my life. And I'll also let you all know games I'm looking forward to and like my type of dream game, I guess. So let's start with the good games and the cool mechanics from behind them all that I wish I could still play one way or another. So starting out, my most played game ever is probably an underground MMO called Dearon/Two Moons. It was released around between like 2007 2010, something around there, and it was like one of the first action RPG MMOs. It was this platform game with super duper cool animations, rapid damage numbers. It had it all, and the game still today exists, although it's been very destroyed. Back in the day, it had like this real old school grind mentality in it, where it at some point eventually, like at level 30 something, I think it took you like more than a day or like more than 24 hours to get a full level, and like it was like a big ass grind, but it was very meaningful. If you ever got a rare drop, it always did that cool sound effect like ding. And if you were ever in a party, you had like a free for all party, and you were in a group farming, you were maybe 5 to 6 people and only one person would get it, and you never knew who it would be, and it was always like such a yeah when you get it. And you used to form parties to farm in maps, and I remember sometimes your party is there and another party comes, and it's like a full PvP PK game, and you start having a war. And if you're in a guild, you start calling your friends, and suddenly there's 20 people having like an hour-long battle, just talking shit to each other and like fighting and trying to conquer the spot. It was like the glory days of the game. The PvP mechanics were really fun. It was very rewarding. It had like a little bit of the simpler. It had like the knowledge and counter mechanic where it's not much you have to be mechanically skilled. You just need to know like when to press the right button to beat out your opponent. And if you have like knowledge and like certain, it was gear dependent, but it wasn't like super gear dependent. Like if you were good enough, you could beat out people who were much higher level and much better gear than you. The PvP system in that game is something I've never seen better made. No MMO has ever made it better. The only one that comes a little bit close, they have like hints. They have hints of it in everything. There's a little bit of it in World of Warcraft with the open world stuff, and there's a little bit of it in like Black Desert Online with like the PvP stuff, but it never really captures. It was like this perfect open. It wasn't really open world. It was like map based, but it was still like open map based PvP that was one of a kind. And later they gave us still one of the coolest mechanics I've ever seen in a game, which was like the transform ability, which basically turns you Super Saiyan, which is something I wish more MMOs and games overall had, where you have like when you're high enough level, you get like this ability unlock, which when you press on it, it transforms you for like 3 minutes or what it is, and you become like, you transform and you start glowing, and you get new abilities during the time, and you get stronger, and it's such a cool thing that still have never seen that in other games, and that game is forever gonna have a good place in my heart. It's probably to this day the best PvP game I've ever played when it comes to just overall fun. The game still exists, but it's completely destroyed with pay to win and overpower it. Everything, like, there used to be a balance and like a reward structure. Now it's basically just throw money at it and go on black markets and buy finished accounts or buy full pre-made sets. It's like, it's not the same anymore, and it's a shame. I always had this fantasy where if I would ever become super duper rich, like to where I could basically do whatever I want, I would buy the company and make the game very good again. I mean, make the game great again. That's what I would do. But yeah, that's my most played and my number one ranked game throughout my life, I guess. Another game that sits very well in my mind is C9 and not Cloud9, like the tournament, the game C9 Continent of the Ninth. It was basically this dungeon-based MMO where like you run the dungeon from start to end and you try to just beat it as fast as possible. That wasn't really what made the game fun though. The PvP was the one and only thing that made the game really fun. Now, to do PvP you had to exit everything and go into like a specific lobby where you find another partner. It was basically like a fighting game / MMO where you have MMO aspects, but you have to make certain sequences on your keyboard to make the moves, and it's like a fighting games where you have blocks and grabs and everything, but it's still an MMO. Like, it had the perfect mixture in between there, and it might not have been the most perfect PvP experience, but it's probably the hardest and most skillful MMO experience I've ever had the pleasure of enjoying. Back in the day, when I played a game, whenever you entered arena, all player stats were equalized and reset, meaning like if you had upgraded gear for PvE and stuff, all that went down to 0. You had your base stats, and it was basically just who plays better, who plays better, who plays right. And yeah, they had the blocks, they had the iframes, they had counters. The combat itself revolved around juggling, learning to catch your opponent and try to keep them captured. And the longer you kept them in a combo, the less and less damage you did. So eventually you would have to drop them and try to recapture them again. And they also had like ring outs on certain maps and all that. And that was very great. I remember that's the game I have the biggest achievements in. I was rank 1 in Europe on my class in that game, was Berserker. And I used to make instructional videos and tutorials and stuff on YouTube for that. And that was good times. I really miss that too. But the whole PvP system, the way the PvP worked in that game, is the best I've ever seen. Like, just the system itself, not like the animations, not like the open world or anything like that. Just like the one-on-one PvP combat interaction was the best I've ever seen. Another underground games that's still going today. It's still going, and there's still plenty of people that play it, but it's not that popular anymore. It's the best FPS game to ever be made, and that is PlanetSide 2. Now, visually, not that good visually, but it has everything. It's basically an FPS MMO open world game, and it's literally what it sounds like. It's fully open world. They have like 3 different maps. All of them are huge. They're like, it takes you like, 15 minutes or something like that to fly from one end to the other. Or driving takes you like who knows how long. It's very big, and the entire map has like sections, and there's 3 factions fighting to take control of the entire map, and whoever takes control of it gets like bonuses in the other maps. So you have like the futuristic, this is in space, so it's a little bit sci-fi, but you have the futuristic team, which is having laser weapons and gadgets and stuff like that. Then you have like the military stormtrooper, like Star Wars-esque type military base team. and then you have like rebels, like freedom fighters. So you have all these three clashing and fighting each other. And the game has everything. You have classes that have stealth, that can turn invisible. You have all types of, like every single weapon you can think of. There's SMG, machine gun, shotguns. There's like crossbows. They have everything there. Like the light assault has jetpacks. The heavies have overshields from Halo 3, and you can, depending on where you are on the map, you can have Call of Duty like small enclosures with buildings where you fight, or you can be in an open world terrain with like there's airfield battles with huge how do you say it, huge there's huge battleships and air battles, and then right underneath there can be like tanks having a big tank fight, people holding like strongholds and all that. It has everything you can think of. You're like, oh, does it have like a respawn? Can you like place a respawn beacon? Yes. Can you put a cloaking device around it? Yes. Do you have tanks? Yes. Do you have hoovering tanks? Yes. Can you be many people in a tank, like a gunner? Yes. Can they like have can you put anti-aircrafts in it? Yes. It's like they have everything in it. They have even like Halo Spartan deployment systems where you can take a big ship and fill it with like 20 people and have them fly out in drop pods to invade places. The only thing holding that game back is that it's graphically a bit outdated, and it's a little bit clunky when it comes to like the movements, and it's an older game. It's like from 2012, I think. Even though it's had a lot of patches, it's still, you can still feel like it's an older game. That's the one thing holding it back. But yeah, that's like the best FPS, and the shooting system is perfect. There's nothing I can complain about there. But yeah, that's the best FPS. Now, what would my perfect type of game be? When it comes to MMOs, I would like to see a game that has the same open world style as World of Warcraft, with the same PvP and the farming mechanics and all that, like they had in Dearon, where you form parties to grind. It's slow and like good progression, and the rewards aren't often, but when you get them, they're like, whoa, you know. And I would like to have the same like type of skill ceiling like in C9, where when it comes to like how you do your abilities and the mechanics. So animations, armor, like visual animation and skill animations, and the PK PvP system from Dearon, the PvP system from like the PvP, the system itself from C9, and the open world of like World of Warcraft. That would be the perfect MMO for me, that I would enjoy the most. Sadly, there's no game like that. I mean, you kind of have to pick and choose your poison right now. You can't get it all in one place, which is a shame, but maybe one day there's gonna come out a game like that, who knows. And when it comes to a shooter, honestly, PlanetSide 2 is very next to perfect in my eyes. The only thing it would need is like a little bit of a revamp, maybe actually even pull out some systems from the game, but like a graphical complete remake, and maybe not put it on different planets, but instead have like a huge city and make it like free for all. Like imagine a huge city with all the weird specs and classes and all of that, but the ultimate freedom to mix and choose, like two. You could like choose overshield and jetpack, or a cloak and overshield, or cloak and jetpack, or something like that, and mix like the weapons. And imagine like a GTA style open world, but more like building centered, and like a free-for-all where you just join in and you just have fun. And you could like maybe have that in teams too, like maybe duos or trios or something, but with like respawn points and stuff, because it sounds a little bit like a BR when I say it, and I don't really like BRs. But yeah, that would be fun. To me, that would be like a very fun shooter. Yeah, that would be what I would prefer. And when it comes to upcoming games that I look forward to right now, the only thing I really want to play is like the Elden Ring DLC. I'm waiting to play that. And I would really like a Bloodborne remake. Like if they made Bloodborne just a remake, like with 60 FPS and a bigger resolution, I would be happy. Other than that, there's not much I'm really looking forward to coming out gaming wise. Haven't been that deep into gaming lately. I play like a little bit of what's it called? Grand Blue Fantasy Reeling, something like that. It's been fun. And I play a bit Modern Warfare 2, Helldivers 2. I play classic World of Warcraft. I raid once a week. I play Master Duel. Yeah, that's about it, kinda. That's about what I kinda play when I play something right now. Anyway, hope you all enjoy my takes on video games. Maybe some of you remember some of the games I talked about. Probably not. Not many people know or have heard of those games. But let me know what you all think about it. Let me know what you think of this video, of my gaming history and gaming preferences. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.